And I can hear it in his voice when he said, am I ready to do that? He says, I don't know. Because you're not ready to sit out because there's so much leverage that the NFL teams have against you guys.
And you cannot do that with a left tackle. Oh, go out there and stop Myles Garrett. Go out there and stop a Michael Parsons. Good luck. Your quarterback will be buried in the ground 6 feet deep if you try some mess like that. When we get in that space, G, I'm man-to-man coverage.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she motioning in the empty. Oh, hey, Bobby, help me out. Nah, I don't like those problems.
Man, the running back conversation across the league.
Ooh-wee.
I saw Richard Sherman talking about it. I saw Austin Eckler got on social media. Derrick Henry got on social media. They're all the running backs and all the players, and they need to pay the running backs. Tyler Lockett, they need to play the running backs. I don't know. You have forgot about more football than I ever have. So I don't want to say that. But I'm going to say something, and I might get in trouble. I think all of the players that are sitting here woofing and talking about they need to pay the running backs, I believe if y'all were GMs, if they were GMs, they wouldn't pay the running backs as much either. And the truth is, the game is changing. Yes, there are some good running backs. There's some great running backs. Shout out to, first of all, shout out to Kenneth Walker III. Great job last season, okay?
1,000 yards.
Huh?
Got 1,000 yards.
Got 1,000 yards. Great job. No doubt about it. So shout out to that. But in this league, the superstars, Austin Eckler, that's a running back. Tony Pollard, that's a great running back right there. Josh Jacobs, great running back. But after that, I'm sorry. A lot of times, these running backs, y'all play fantasy football. Y'all know running backs come dime a dozen. They do. All 1 minute, ooh, got this guy. Where'd he come from? Now, if I'm wrong, I apologize. Y'all can send your hate mail to me. Running backs come dime a dozen.
All right. First of all, we're not going to get too disrespectful. First of all, getting 1,000 yards each and every season is not easy, G. When we know that this running back is going to be the focal point of the game, we got to stop this dude, and you still get 1,000+ yards. That is not easy. But let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's get to the root of all this stuff. People are upset about the running back market.
Okay.
And with all due respect, it is the GMs. It's not personal. It's not personal with these GMs. They're not looking at the running back saying, we're not going to pay you. We don't like you guys. In the GM's mind, what they're thinking is, when I give you this 4-year contract as a rookie, you young, fresh, boom. Now I got to go give you another 4 years on a contract. You get hit every play. You get 25+ carries. And it's shown that I'm not going to get the return on my value because of what may come, the injuries that could potentially come. And so it's not personal. But when you look at this right now, people want to see the quarterbacks air the ball out. It's always been about the bottom line. They want to see the ball go downfield. They want to see points. No one these days want to see the running backs get 30 to 35 carries a game. That's not where the game is going. It's going to fantasy football. What you said, 5,000+ yards, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams getting the ball downfield. It's high flying.
So let's get specific. Mm-hmm. Saquon Barkley, who was drafted in the first round, top pick, got hurt, came back. Excellent, no doubt. Now, on the table for him, right, is $10 million franchise tag. Mm-hmm. He don't want to sign it.
He shouldn't.
Oh, he shouldn't?
Absolutely.
So, okay. So if you as agent, you telling him don't sign it?
Don't sign it.
Okay.
Don't go to training camp. Force their hand.
And then what about week 1? If he ain't got a check, what about week 1, KJ?
Stand firm. Hold tight. Because when you look at that offense, who's the focal point of that New York Giants offense? When me as a linebacker, when I'm going to prepare, I'm trying to stop number 26. Number 8, he cool. He just got paid. But when I'm looking at it as a defensive player, I need to stop Saquon Barkley from the run game in the trenches, in between the tackles on the perimeter. They go throw this dude the ball. He's going to touch the ball 30-something times a game. So why would I sign this when another guy in my same position, because it goes by comps. If the number one player is getting this is my payday. I mean this much to this franchise. First round pick, over 1,000 yards. I proved myself. No. Stand tight and force their hand and see how they look in preseason when you're not there. What would you do? You as agent, what would you do?
Okay, first of all, I'm not an agent, but if I were his agent, I'm going to go at the history of what's been going on, what I have been seeing. And what I have been seeing, when you guys hold out and you guys say what you're going to do, this league has so much leverage over you guys that you got to show up. For some reason, you guys don't win this because of years and years of the NFL positioning themselves to force you into move like, oh, okay, you want to sit out? Week 1, week 2, week 3. And you know them checks is real.
They real because they ain't coming.
No, KJ.
They ain't coming.
You think you can handle that? You think you could handle week 1, week 2, week 3 and no checks?
I didn't go that far. I said week 1. I said week 1.
So a lot of, that's what I'm saying though. But KJ, a lot of people take like, you should do this. Sounds good.
But put yourself in a player's mind. I've literally done everything you asked of me. And it's not my fault that Christian McCaffrey is getting these dollars. The Carolina Panthers paid him that. So I look at my body of work, I compare the age and I compare the production. He got this, he did that. I am this age, I did this, I did that. We're this far apart. We are this far apart. And so you're telling me to sign for dang sure not a long-term deal, but that franchise tag sucks.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the running backs. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is talk about this in an objective way. And the objective way is this. Yes, Saquon, number 1 pick. Yes, Saquon, an amazing running back. Let me repeat. Saquon Barkley is an amazing running back. But Saquon has a franchise tag to sign, which I agree. Get rid of the franchise tag. But is Saquon ready to go up against the machine? And the machine is these NFL organizations, the New York Football Giants. Is he ready to say, I'm going to sit out? And you see the tweet and you see him talking, and I can hear it in his voice when he said, am I ready to do that? He says, I don't know. Because you're not ready to sit out because there's so much leverage that the NFL teams have against you guys. Now, am I saying anything wrong?
You're not. And you're not as good as your last game when it comes to payday. You're as good as your future. If I pay you for 4 or 5 years, that's how good I expect you to be. I expect you to be healthy. I expect you to be the top of your position. I expect you to lead this franchise. Okay. And in their minds, I'm speaking in their brains, they look at it and they go off of a track record. Like, man, this person did it. It didn't work out. We tried again. This person did it. It didn't work out. And so it's their jobs to put the position or to put the team in the right position to be successful. Okay. And they got to answer to their owners.
Right. So
they got somebody to answer to.
So each NFL team has a pie, a salary cap on the pie. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to look at the camera right now and tell NFL teams that NFL running backs should get a bigger pie on offense? And if so, which position group should they get more money than?
I can't say that. I cannot say, and I played the game. I want all my brothers to get it. That's what I want.
So this all your brothers getting on Twitter and social media talking about pay the running backs then. we can do this. We can do this silence till you blue in the face. I'm just trying to understand. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the running backs.
No, I'm
I'm
not
just
either.
talking about there is a pie. There is a salary cap. And one more thing, there's also this thing called leverage.
And when you talk about holding out, not reporting to training camp, not missing games, first off, what that does is, first of all, you are getting fined. I know it happened in our era. Some guys got fined and they gave the money back. I know some guys got fined and the money is gone. So first of all, you're losing money when you get fined. Secondly, what you do for your body is training camp is to get your body ready for a season. You take the hits here and there. You get tackled a little bit. You're priming your body ready for training camp. You see how fast you are, all this stuff. And so what happens when you miss camp and you just show up week 3, week 4, yeah, you've done it, but it takes you some time to get ramped up and used to what's coming. And so does that play in their benefit? It does not. But as a player, G, you got to try to force their hand a little bit. You got to force their hand. See how they look in preseason. Oh, this the offense you go in and try to win the NFC East? This the offense you want to take to try to win the Super Bowl? Good luck. And maybe he can push that needle a little bit more. Maybe he can push that needle just a little bit more.
Can I ask you something though? Have you ever seen it to where the starter has the paycheck? So the starter gonna start because they paid him. But the backup guy is better, but they gotta start the guy because they paid him. Have you ever seen those situations happen?
All the time.
That's the beauty of the NFL. So I'm talking because I've never been a player, so I'm talking from a fan's point of view, from an outsider's point of view. And that point of view is simple. You guys are the greatest sport in the world when it comes to next man up. No, nobody does it better than the NFL. Nobody, you could be the Cincinnati Bengals 1 minute and be the laughing stock of the league. And then the next season, you're in the Super Bowl. The NFL is the greatest next man up league in the world. And it is the reason why football is king.
And G, I saw Shaquem Griffin. Shaquem was on the practice squad at one point. We played in the Dallas Cowboys. He's the guy. You go from practice squad where you're not playing, or you're a healthy scratch, one of the two. You're not dressing out. Hey, Shaquem, we need you. We need you to be the guy to stop Dak Prescott, to get to the quarterback, to make things happen. You're the spy guy. And when you talk about next man up, when you talk about this dude turned up from not playing, next man up, go out there. And so it's the same. And GMs know that. They know that. The owners know this is another guy out here who I can make the next big thing. You look at Damian Pierce from the Houston Texans. I played some fantasy football. I'm like, who is this dude? Let me draft this dude. I never heard of this dude a day in my life. Top 10 running back right now, in an instant.
What if I told you that in the NFL, one time, you probably won't believe me, one time there was this backup in the league for 10 years. For 10 years, he was a backup.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Geno Smith. Geno Smith just shows up after 10 years and is a Pro Bowler. Let me repeat again. The National Football League is the greatest league in the world when it comes to next man up. So I want to simplify and go back to these contracts. Jacobs, great running back. Tony Pollard, great running back. I'm not saying that these guys aren't great. I'm just saying that so far that when it comes to the pie and what they are going to get, the league is saying, according to what we are seeing, these running backs don't or aren't getting the big pie of the money.
And you cannot do that with a left tackle. Oh, go out there and stop Myles Garrett. Go out there and stop a Michael Parsons. Good luck. Your quarterback will be buried in the ground 6 feet deep if you try some mess like that. You can't just put out a left tackle. You can't just go and say, "Oh, cornerback, go shut down this dude." It's not like that.
Okay. So this is where we're gonna need your help. Tell us what is different about running backs today, or what you've seen. Now, when you first got in the league, you played against Frank Gore,
Steven Jackson,
Michael
Turner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You played against some running backs that's probably had you up at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the difference then towards the end of your career, you saw running backs? Either were they different or was the scheme different out of the offense?
It was the scheme. They were under center about 70, 80% of the game with a fullback. Hand it off, stretch here, stretch left, power. You know, last time you seen a team run a power play? Who the hell runs ISO? And so that's what was the scheme now. Now when you look at teams, these dudes in shotgun. Okay. Josh Allen's, the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, and these running backs. They got a receiver over there in Philly that they moved to running back. Number 14, I don't know his name. But they are in shotgun and they throwing the ball to these running backs. Out the backfield, zone read, gimmicks, fly sweeps and all that. That's what the game is looking like. It is fantasy football. They want to see the ball get thrown downfield. They want to see big-time exciting plays, handle the ball off to an Emmitt Smith or to a Frank Gore 25, 30 times a game. This era, that is not happening. It's not happening.
So it sounds like the paychecks and the paycheck offers are matching up to what we are seeing.
Unfortunately, yes. That's just the hard truth. Unfortunately, yes. That's what the game is going to. They're looking at it. I could find a undrafted guy to come in and get me 70 yards a game if I do it right. That's their mentality. That's what they're thinking.
But you got mad at me when I said running backs come dime a dozen.
Because when you say a dime a dozen, that's something disrespectful. Like that's
you just.
I didn't say a dime a dozen.
No. You didn't say that. You said I can have a running back. GMs are saying I can have a running back come in undrafted and get me 70 yards. And I said running backs come dime a dozen. So what's the difference?
I said it with a little more respect.
Okay. Then you know
I
what?
said it with a little more respect.
Once again, I'm not in my right mind. I mess up. I don't do things the right way. But respect to all running backs out there.
But here's the thing, G. We could cry. We could moan. We could voice it via social media. We can get on Twitter. But where's the real change going to happen? When can it stop? Where can it stop? It stops at those league meetings. It stops when you go to Cleveland and Miami and all 32 teams get together with the NFLPA and be like, enough is enough. If you're willing to miss games as a league, if you want to put your money where your mouth is and miss games and say enough is enough, we're taking a stance on this, no more franchise tags, we're done with it, no other league has it. When you start hurting their pockets for once, that's when the change will happen. If you're willing to come together as brothers and say, I'm tired of seeing you doing this to my teammates, I'm tired of seeing this happen. If you want to come together as a league, miss games, voice your opinions to the owners, that's where you see change happen. That's the only thing that can happen. No other way can it happen. You think they get mad when they see people get upset on? They sit and they what billionaires sip? Some matcha, some caviar. That's what they do.
Pinky finger in the air
with a $2 million ring on it, and they just sitting back watching. Like, I hear you talking, but what you gonna do about it? Okay. What you gonna do? That's what they're thinking as an organization.
So, what can you do? Only there's 100% of you guys, but only 20% make the money. So how do you take care of the 80%?
It's the 20% that's making the money. them dudes need to show up to the league meetings. Them dudes need to step up and voice their opinions and say, I feel for my brothers. The quarterbacks got to go and say, oh, enough is enough. Let's get this league changed. Because what's happening, the quarterbacks, they getting the bread. They not tripping. Mm-hmm. But you need the big dogs to step up and say, we're going to make a change. That's the only way it can happen. Yeah. And what happens is, G, when you try to make a change, you got big dogs, you got the middle dogs, and you got the dudes at the bottom of the totem pole. In order to make change, at some point, you got to make a stand, G. That's the only way that can happen. And if I'm a young guy, you stay quiet. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Mm-hmm. It's going to take the older guys to say, hey, this is what's happening. This is the league. Young pups, follow our lead. And so if guys want to make a change, stay off of Twitter, go to those league meetings and meet. And if you have to miss games in the next CBA and say, we're not doing this, they keep shrinking our market with this franchise tag. I can't even reach my full potential because you could tag me. Mm-hmm. You could tag me and I can't do anything about it but miss games and pray for whatever comes. Mm. And so we'll see what happens. It's hard to see because Josh Jacobs is a dog. Tony Pollard was a backup last year. It's kind of for the proves I point, and he got 1,000 yards. But
I was wondering, KJ, if anybody was gonna make that point because, let me see. The starting running back, the name that everybody talked about for Dallas was my main man from the Ohio State, Ezekiel Elliott was the guy. But then there was a lot of people like, yeah, he's the guy. But, man, do you see that, Pollard, every time he get the ball? What?
He was a backup and he got 1,000 yards. Didn't start. And 1,000, that was the pinnacle. If you get 1,000 as a running back, that's the pinnacle.
So he got 1,000 as a backup?
Fact check me, money.
Yes, he
got 1,000.
He's a bad man. All right, before we go on this topic, I do want to ask about the running back position in this case. What's harder for a defense to scheme against, and what's harder for a linebacker to go against? The Frank Gores, the Marshawn's, the 25 times a game, or the Austin Ecklers and these pass catchers and these wheel routes that's coming out the backfield, the Christian McCaffreys. Which running back would you want to face?
Me personally, I want to go man-to-man with you. Give me the Steven Jacksons, the Frank Gores. Who's the biggest alpha male on this football field? We mean in the hole, either I'm going to win or you going to win. When we get in that space, G, I'm man-to-man coverage.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she motioning in the empty. Oh, hey, Bobby, help me out. Nah, I don't like those problems. Seeing a Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, these dudes, no. I personally don't like that. And so when you look at how teams are structuring these teams, they like, let me get a running back that could be dominant out of the backfield. Let me get a running back that I can make those fantasy football touchdown throws to. Mm-hmm. Catch PPR. What's that? PPR league? You know the PPR league?
Yeah.
Points per reception. That's what people want to see.
Okay. So, all right. I hope you don't mind this question right here. This might be a little personal. Do you think that you would have played in the league 2 to 3 more years if the running back position didn't change?
Absolutely.
Explain that.
Because I started getting slow. And I couldn't cover their ass anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't cover if a coordinator's putting together a game plan.
Okay.
And he know that they got a dog at running back. I can't even call man-to-man because number 50, he's in year 10. Knees getting old, had a few surgeries. He got this big harness on his shoulder. They're going to isolate against KJ Wright. And so I got to structure my defense to where that we don't get exposed. But if I'm just going against a downhill type runner, that's my ball game all day.